Hey y'all, it's Crystal from Triple C Creations Crafting coming to you from the beautiful North Georgia mountains. I can see blue skies, but it is very windy here on this New Year's Eve. So you may hear my wind chime, you may hear the trees blowing, but like I said, it's kind of warm today compared to what it has been. And I am still in the Christmas mood. If you've watched my channel, you know that I tend to have more time to make things after Christmas than I do before Christmas. So I do a lot of my planning for next Christmas after the current Christmas. I'm still in the Christmas spirit, and it seems like with my job and everything going on at church and with family, I just don't have as much time to craft before Christmas. And so then it's Christmas and I'm like, I still have, all this time off from work and I want to make Christmas stuff. So thinking ahead to next Christmas and not just, okay, I want to make a new ornament for my tree, but what could I make at church, either with kids or with adults? I definitely think this could be geared up or down for either group. For adults, they're going to be able to do more things by themselves. With kids, you may want to build kits. So this is a tumbling tower block craft. So the tumbling tower blocks are the blocks from Dollar Tree. If you've not gotten them, let me show you what they look like. Baby, yep. Sorry, this is my last unopened pack. And the ones that you find now, or the ones that I find now, are actually two colored. You have half of them are unfinished and half of them are stained. And at first I didn't know if I was real happy with that, but it saves a step. So if you want, what I use today is the darker ones, and you can use this for other projects. And you're not having to paint them, you're not having to stain them, because a lot of times I would stain these. So it kind of just leaves that step out. Now they are pretty solid, but we'll talk about what to do with that later. So here is what we are making today. And I have seen this on Pinterest, and I'm not stealing, I've seen it multiple places, so I don't know who the original poster is. But one thing is I've not seen any directions on how to make it, and some people just really need directions. If I'm gonna make this with a group, then I want to make it first so that I can show them and I can explain to them how to make it. I can find the mistakes. I can tweak my my pattern and tweak the process as I go. Because I just had to figure this out as I go. This is not the same one you're going to find on Pinterest. Again, we'll talk about some variations as we go, or what you could do, maybe like if you have a younger group compared to an older group, depending on their crafting level and that kind of thing. So this does take 5 of the tumbling tower blocks. Now with this one, and I use the darker ones, you do not have to. If you wanted to use the unfinished ones, you could use the unfinished ones and then stain them yourself or leave them unfinished. I glued this one using wood glue. Now that's the wood glue from the Dollar Tree. But let me tell you, I just had to glue it. I laid it on my silicone mat and it had to dry overnight, just getting the frame together. So I'm going to try it with hot glue today. Now the thing with hot glue and the tumbling tower blocks, and I know this from making other ornaments, is you can't always get your seams as close together because the hot glue takes up some of the space. But I think that because of the way these have to fit, because you have a corner touching and a corner touching here, and really just a corner touching here, you can see where the glue kind of like puddled up, that's what I'm trying to think of, at the bottom, as it ran down. But I did it on my silicone mat, and so that was fine. I could take it up. This was my first one I have made. I have made one, okay? And I'm making a video. I'm jumping right in. I'm going to try one with hot glue on camera. Somebody commented on another video that I didn't show enough of the process. So I want to show a little bit more of the process. And using hot glue is not going to take as long. It's not like waiting for this to dry. And literally, I left it overnight for it to dry because it does not dry fast. So that is not an option for, I don't feel like making at a craft night or a party or with a group of people unless I want to go ahead and have these glued together. And so I'm going to decide that. If hot glue does not work as well, then I may go ahead and make the frames beforehand, and then they will just add to it. If I was doing kids, I would definitely go ahead and glue the frames. Even using low temp, I think there are too many things that you kind of have to put together for a kid to be able to do it without getting burned. So now I am using my Christmas present. Y'all, I got, and I had no idea. My husband talked to me about these. This is the cordless hot glue gun. I say cordless. I guess it's cordless. It's a rigid, it runs off batteries. Now I have an Impact that is a rigid brand, so I have the charger and another battery already. So it's pretty cool. Like, you know, you've got the battery. You even have a light. Oops. You have, this has low, medium, and high. You can also, you can adjust your, I don't know if you can see the plus and minus on here, but you can adjust the trigger pull based on how much glue you want to come out. So if you're doing something you just need a little bit of a glue, you can turn it down and your trigger actually moves, so it prevents you from like putting out too much. Or if you're doing something with a lot of glue, you can adjust it so you can use a lot of glue. So I went ahead, it does have different tips. Ooh, it does have different tips. One is kind of flat, it has a regular one and then a fine tip one. And I just went ahead and put the fine tip one on, and that's probably the one I'm going to use. The one that's flat is really not that wide. I don't know that it's going to make much of a difference, so I'm probably just going to stick with this one on it. So, okay. Anyways, there's my Christmas present. My chapstick's falling. I don't know why. Okay. Hopefully my phone doesn't fall. So we're going to do, just put a new glue stick in, so I'm not sure if I've got it in there all the way. Okay. I am going to use my craft mat though to, because I can kind of push it down flush with it. I love my silicone mats, and whoops, I use them all the time, and I just throw them in the washing machine. I don't dry them. I don't know if they might have gone through the dryer. Probably, I mean, they're heat resistant, so it shouldn't hurt them. But I typically just wash them and get them out before I dry my things. All right, now here's where it gets a little tricky. Okay, because you have to kind of have that touching. Okay, making sure I'm clear here. All right, so I think I'm going to put a little bit of glue on one corner. And then I'm going to put glue on two corners for this one. All right. Now, even doing this with a hot glue gun, I'm not sure that this is something that the average adult is going to feel comfortable doing. So I'm really thinking this is probably a step I'm going to do. We'll see if I like the hot glue gun better or the wood glue better as far as, you know, what's left. So we'll give that just a minute to dry. All right, so my hot glue has dried. Now, for the bedding for baby Jesus, there's a couple of ways you can do this. And what I started doing is, and you can use different things. You can buy commercial like pieces of straw or little hay bales. I used what I had on hand, and that's what I did with all of this. I do buy the tumbling tower blocks, but everything else it's what I have on hand. I buy thrift store, I buy clearance, and really just try to keep a variety of things on hand for personal crafting with my kids, crafting in Sunday school, Bible school, you know, those type things. Friends come over and we want to craft. So what I first did is I kind of did almost like if you were doing a palm tree. Oh my gosh, a pom-pom. And I wrapped it around my hand a few times, and then I pulled it together and tied it. And the problem is it was too wide, and that would still work. you're gonna have to be very careful to get it to match. Let me see if I can hold this. So it was still too wide. I mean, I guess if you want to, you could put it on the front though, if you wanted to, and let it hang off. I didn't think about that. So you could. I wanted mine inside the little manger, and so it was curving up on the sides too much. You see that? So what I ended up doing then is I cut my loops and I just trimmed it down, really like a pom-pom. Not a very full pom-pom. So I just trimmed it down to where it would fit in my manger. So mine is actually glued in my manger. You can see it from the front and the back, okay? You could very easily make this a two-sided ornament if you wanted to. And, you know, be a little bit more careful and hide your hot glue. But I did not. So I'm going to go ahead and get all the pieces together and then we'll start assembling it. I have a lot of these tassels. You know, I buy things on clearance and I go to the Dollar Tree. You know, they have the beads, the string of beads with tassels. I buy those. That's like the cheapest way I have found to buy beads. And you can get unfinished, you can get painted ones. So I buy those, and then I have these tassels left over, which are fine because I mean I cut the beads off and I have a bag of beads. If I needed tassels, that would be fine. But what I did is I took my tassel apart. So I took my tassel apart and I just tied a string here, and this is going to become my little my bedding for my manger. So that was my tassel. Opened it up, and I can get like 4 from this. So I think this is probably something I will go ahead and make, probably for my adults or my kids, just because it's so, the way I'm making them, I'm going to use up my tassels too, so that I'm not having to store them. Okay, now still a little too long, but see, since this is like not looped, it's very easy for me to trim it off. And I'm going to do it over the trash can. I learned a few minutes ago, I did the first one, and I don't really want it to be like even. I did the first one, and I had all these little, you can see I have a lot now, of the little strings, and I used my little mini vac on my mat to try to get some of that, and I actually ended up just having to throw that one in with my towels to wash. But it stopped up my vacuum, so I'm cutting those over the trash can. Another reason to go ahead and have these ready to go in advance too is it makes a mess. Okay, so that will go inside, okay, just like that. Then let's talk about my baby Jesus. So I just used a bead. So it does have a hole in the top and in the bottom, and I'm okay with that. If you don't want to, that's fine. This bead is probably about 3/4 of an inch. I decided that one was too big, so I found a smaller bead, and this one is a 1/2 inch. I just did an unfinished wooden bead. Again, you could get the ones, I think I actually found some in my craft supply that don't have holes, but again, it does not matter. Now for the fabric around baby Jesus, I took a, what is that called? It's almost like a cheesecloth. I buy them in bulk at Walmart, and I buy like 10 at a time, and I will heat press them. It makes like a little fancy towel, like a bread towel or something. And I cut off, this is about a 2 by 5 inch strip of that fabric. But look, I mean, like, and it's unfinished, you know, so it's gonna rag a little bit. That was the edge of it, so that one didn't. And then, you know, it may still be a little too wide, so I'm gonna kind of fold it and roll it. And then I'm going to take just a little piece of string. I have some string that has gold in it, so that's what I'm going to use. But you could use anything. You could use a piece of the jute also. You could use just gold ribbon. I don't know. I thought having a little bit of gold just added to it. So that's what I'm going to use to tie it up. Let's go ahead and make baby Jesus. So just like you were swaddling a little baby. And I did learn that I added a little bit of glue. I'm still learning how to use my glue gun, so give me a second. I think I've got my trigger turned way down too. But I folded that over to make it just a little bit smaller. And then it, I don't know, it just kind of let the head sit a little bit better. All right, I'm gonna do some camera editing there. My whole camera stand just fell. I think when I was getting off some string a minute ago, I pulled one of my clips loose and everything started falling. So I will have to cut that out. But let's go ahead and wrap our baby Jesus. Nothing was broken. I did not get hurt. I did not get burned. So we'll continue on, and I will try to edit that out. So I'm going to put just a little bit of hot glue just right at the top of this little piece of fabric. And then I'm just going to start rolling. Kind of shook my nerves though. I'm like, I think I'm shaking now. And you can add a little bit of glue. I think I'm just going to add a little bit of glue just so that as I go, it will hold the roll. Definitely shaking. Okay, there we go. All right, and then let's tie this around it. I'm really shaking. My camera or my phone, whenever I attach it, it really adds a lot of weight to my camera stand, and it tips. So I have some clamps, ace clamp to my shelf, and then I also have like all my tape dispensers, which are weighted, on top of it. And then let's trim those. Make sure I stay in camera. Okay. All right, so there's my little baby Jesus. Okay, what else do I have? Well, I just could not find a star I was happy with. That I felt like it was the right size. I did find this after I made my first one, and I could use that. But what I decided to do is everything so far has been neutral except the little bit of gold in the string. So I went to my cardstock and I punched me out some gold stars. So this is just cardstock. But I really think that will add in, I think everything else being natural or neutral, and then that little bit of gold and the gold in the string, I think that adds to it. You do not have to. You could definitely use a wooden star if you wanted to. Okay, so this is what I'm doing. You can do it your own any other way. I definitely think, adults could probably wrap the baby. Kids probably not. So there's my take on that. All right, to hang it, the next thing we'll do is I'm going to get my hanger ready. And so I'm just going to take a piece of my tassel here, and I'm going to go ahead and fold it in half and tie a knot. Trim that over the trash can. And because of the way this is, and I did use hot glue on this to attach the string, you've got that little groove. It's hidden behind the star. That's why I said, like, if you made it double-sided, you could put another star there to hide that. But that's how I finished mine off. Now, my two mangers do not look different, or my two little barns, I guess, do not look this, or they do look different. Y'all, I told you that falling like really shook me up. This is just the way they come out of the box. This one, I took a sanding block from the Dollar Tree, and Dollar Tree has these new ones that has this holder, so it doesn't like kill your nails. And I just scuffed it up. Now, I was worried about the one that I glued with wood glue because you don't have a whole lot holding it together. I was worried that it would come apart. It did not. So let's see about the one with the hot glue. And I made sure to get all the corners. You do not have to use a sanding block. You can use actual pieces of sandpaper. I just really like the sanding blocks. And then I actually just sanded the top. And I really think that adds a lot to it. It does kind of make a mess, but that's okay. But look at that. I think it's just, I mean, that's how it looked to start with. And you could leave it like that. You do not have to sand it. I like this better. It gives it an aged look. I like it better. So let's assemble it. Okay. So I'm going to start by putting my bedding in. So I'm going to add a little hot glue. I don't have my little hot, oh, I do have my little hot glue fingers. If you got any of these little hot glue fingers from the Dollar Tree, this would be a good time to use it to help hold that down, kind of position it where you want it. And if you need to, you can always go back and trim. You know, you can trim some of this even after you glue it down. So there we go. Then let's glue our baby Jesus down. I'm going to add some glue kind of long ways. My glue stick's not feeding. I can't figure that out. I added another glue stick and I keep having to push it on down. So, all right, and I'm going to glue baby Jesus on. I did try when I wrapped him, because mine is a bead and it has a hole, wrap him to where like the hole is up and down so you don't see it. Let's see, do you see it? You do see it from the back, but that's okay. That for me, I'm not making them double-sided. All right, next we're going to add this. I'm going to add this first. So let's put some glue. And again, this is where I can use my silicone finger, and I can spread that apart and press it down really good until it's holding. Okay, and then I'm going to add just a little bit, because it is not going to take much hot glue to hold down a paper star. There we go. Now, the pictures I have seen on Pinterest, they actually used one of these Dollar Tree angels and they glued them right here. Now, I kind of took a survey and it was either way. They liked it either way. Some people liked it the plain. This one I am going to glue on the angel, so I have one of each. But you can do it either way. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Just review the supplies that I needed. I needed 5 tumbling tower blocks. These are the ones from the Dollar Tree. Some jute twine or some hay, something I can use for bedding. A bead or a round piece, a round piece, or a round ball, a wooden ball. This was a 1/2 inch little piece of fabric. Mine was about 2 by 5 inches. Another piece of string for here, piece of string to hang it, a star of some kind. The angel is optional. I used glue. As far as tools, I used glue. I did use my silicone finger, but that's not required. And a sanding block or something to sand with, which again is not required. So you probably, if you do tumbling tower block crafts, you may have all this stuff in your array of crafts. But we are in under, well, I can't say under I don't know what, because I had to do this video in 2 parts because my camera fell. But I will go in and make sure that I get that fixed as close as I can. If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you've not subscribed to my channel, I would really appreciate it if you subscribed. Until next time, see you later. Okay, I feel like I may have left you hanging. I really don't know that I can tell a difference unless I know it, which one I did with hot glue and which one I did with regular glue. So my adults could probably do the hot glue one. I think I'll try that. My kids, I definitely think I would probably go ahead and have theirs glued for them. But yeah, my adults I think could do it. So I think these are so cute. I think they'll like them. But just wanted to clarify that and make sure I included it.